Ah, jeez.
Not my family.
You remember our venerable house?
No, I don't.
I don't
I
want to
always
you
try
guys.
to-
I can't read that.
I always try to read it every time.
There's an episode of Batman the Animated Series where that's a plot point.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where he
I'm impressed.
he realizes he's dreaming because he can't read because
Yep.
dreaming and reading use different halves of the brain.
That's true, actually. You can't read in your dreams. I have tried. It's actually the thing that usually triggers me to realize that I am having a dream and wake up.
That's exactly what Batman did.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I've never seen Tech and Batman in the same room together.
It's true.
But I did
mean-
once see someone dressed as Batman at Tech's birthday party.
That's also true. So, are you saying you dug too deep?
I think they dug too deep.
I think they dug too deep.
I think that's a joke, but I don't get it.
Like,
Is-
I know it as more of a cliche than an actual joke.
Yeah, it's like fucking Lord of the Rings and shit.
Yeah, the dwarves. They're known for digging too deep.
found there, down in the dark. Or was it fire and something?
I don't know. If you want actual Lord of the Rings quotes, I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
You're not my Lord of the Rings guy?
No, I'm that weird outlier who doesn't particularly like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Lord of the Rings. Or Battlestar
Or what-
Galactica. Those are the three especially weird ones.
What about Harry Potter?
I like Harry Potter.
A lot of times people compare Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings to like Star Wars and Star Trek.
I don't
Like you
agree
can't
with
like one and not the other, but I also don't. Oh
Hey,
god, you
guess what?
guys.
We're playing this game.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the way I like to frame this in my mind is there was like one person in the comments who said, I would like to see the Renegade Constabulary play Darkest Dungeon, which is more engagement than we're used to getting. So I figure, why not play Darkest Dungeon?
This is for you.
Also, just I really like this game a lot. This is like definitely one of my favorite games of all time, and I made Tech start playing it recently, more or less. So
Yep. I've been playing it on my iPad, which has been
yeah.
great. Highly recommend, by the way, if you have an iPad, you can play it on your iPad, and it's very affordable.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, you may have heard us talking about it incessantly, or me talking about it incessantly, if you were watching Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we did some discussion on what our interests are. I think we're doing everything but Color of Madness. We will probably
Yes.
regret this later. But
Probably.
okay. Is this your first estate? The Crimson Court increases complexity and pressure of the campaign. It is recommended for... Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I figure probably like normal difficulty.
Yeah.
That seems right.
And then I would like to name this after the place I most don't want to go to.
Discard Beach?
Windy Discard Beach. Home of fingernail windows. It's bad.
Let's go there.
Is that... Never mind.
Okay.
I not that long ago discovered an old sci-fi anthology show from like a few years ago, but like one that's not particularly well known, called Dimension 404. There's an episode where there's just like an enormous sentient brain, and I was like, yeah, that's like what a building in Grixis would look like. It's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Grixis is like fairly indicative of what we will encounter as we approach the end game, assuming we get there. Which I think
Oh
is
no,
the plan.
Vasco. You answered the letter.
Am I a part of this place now, just like you?
You are.
Along the old road. It winds with a troubling serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside.
Very suggestive.
Everything that this person describes is awful. He can't even describe a road without it fucking winding through the corrupted countryside.
And on its
I mean, you know why that is, don't you?
face viciousness.
I mean, I do. It's
Explain,
just, it's like impressive as to how like fucking bleak he manages to make every single sentence.
I mean, it's a combination of him and the writing, I think.
Yeah, the writing is excellent.
Because, like, if you just read a normal thing, it would be spooky, but it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
I really do want to look up his audiobooks of...
I know, I really do too. I don't know if Tech caught this part of my stream. I recently found out. Fun fact. The voice actor who does the Ancestor, also sometimes referred to as the narrator in this game, he's pretty much the only person you'll hear other than us. He's the fourth constable. God, I would love that. I would love to play any video game he wants. That'd be so badass. But so, like, apparently the short version of the story is, like, the people who made this game love this Lovecraftian aesthetic, and one of them was, like, listening to, like, actual H.P. Lovecraft audiobooks, and Wayne June was just the narrator for those. And then when they were going to make this game many years later, the guy was like, I wish we could find someone like Wayne June. Wait a minute. Wayne June's a voice actor. And then they, like, showed him the game they were working on. He's like, yeah, that's awesome.
I wish we could find someone like Wayne June. Wait, Wayne June's a person.
Yeah, like, Wayne June exists. He's not fictional. Alright, so welcome to Darkest Dungeon. What is Darkest Dungeon? Well, as previously alluded to, it's like a H.P. Lovecraft-style dungeon crawler. It's got some unique elements. We'll address those as we go. Right now we're in the tutorial, map navigation. You are currently in a room. If you're watching this outside, this game's already lying to you. Move forth, click forward another room, and then, so basically, this is easier to show than it is to tell. This is our map for the purpose of the tutorial. It's a hallway with another room at the end. So we're here at Scenic Stagecoach that broke down during that cutscene. We're these two guys, Reynauld and Dismas. If I click this, we start moving. Hallway movement. We're playing this on the PC, not something we normally do. Hopefully this makes it to YouTube. God, we've worked so hard on this. Yeah. So you can, like, WASD, or you can
jump.
You can also just, like, click and hold, which is weird if you want that.
Yeah, that's how
I
I would
honestly
play
think
the game.
that the PC controls are superior.
Oh yeah, I'm super not used to them. If you've watched me stream this game at all, any amount, you know that I've been playing on the PS4 for like 4 years. So the PC controls are a little new. I'll probably screw some stuff up. Kill the enemy is our objective. Combat is turn-based. We have skills and they have skills, and we'll work on it. So, it's really difficult to sort of summarize everything a character can do all at once. So let's start by Dismas has the first turn. From his current spot in our team, there are two moves he is capable of doing. Open Vein. This is a melee attack that does a good amount of damage and has a chance of inflicting a bleed or damage over time effect. He also has Grape Shot Blast. It's like an area of effect thing. It can hit multiple targets, does less damage, is less likely to critical hit. Its main purpose is to be able to do a little bit of damage to a bunch of people, maybe to finish off multiple characters at once. I'm gonna go with
You also
Open
have a
Vein.
greater chance of missing, right?
Yes, you do
Grape
with
Shot.
Grape Shot Blast. Reynauld didn't get shanked because he successfully dodged. Now, Reynauld, he has many moves. I'll boil these down a little bit more simply. Smite, hit him very hard. Has slightly lower accuracy base, but does bonus damage to unholy enemies. This is just a dude. He's a human. Zealous Accusation, another area of effect type thing. Does less damage, slightly less accurate, same overall deal. Stunning Blow's a fun one. Has a chance to inflict a stun effect. If you succeed at this, they'll miss their turn. Then finally, Bulwark of Faith. Gives Torch plus 24. We'll get to that a little bit later. Marks Self. That means that some enemies are more likely to target you and some can have bonus effects or damage against you while you yourself are marked. But also, it gives you a protection buff, which means he can take hits better. I'm just going to hit him with a sword. He dead.
If you use a stun effect on a dude, they miss their turn, but they still take like bleed or blight damage, which is cool.
True. Yes, we haven't seen what like damage over time stuff does, but like even if you don't take your turn at the start of what would be your turn, it procs.
Yeah.
Gold. I have two options. I can click and drag into my inventory, or I can click the Take All button. Either works. Ooh, a tent. Interactive objects, parentheses, curios. That's distinct from interactive objects, parentheses, gentleman caller. While exploring, you will find these. Basically, like, while dungeoneering, you might find weird stuff. Sometimes it will require a certain item for you to be able to favorably interact with it. Like, you might find some cursed totem and want to purify it with holy water. Here, it's just a tent. When I interact with it, I find some more gold and some others.
Which is just worth gold.
Yeah. It's basically, like, more difficult to carry gold. I have no torches, so I can't interact with the torchlight. Brigand Bloodletter, and also Fusilier. So now, I guess because there's a further back target, I have access to more moves, but I don't really think I want to use them. I might use Pistol Shot. Actually, I probably should use Pistol Shot. Take out the back guy first if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Oftentimes in this game, you want to just get, like, a basic numbers advantage. It might seem obvious, but it might not. So if, you know, this guy's a big meat shield, it's obviously going to take a little while to wear him down. So if I can just, like, shoot this guy to bits, then I'm only dealing with one enemy, and I don't have to deal with 2 enemy turns worth of attacks. Because this guy's going to be...
You might want to touch briefly, if we're explaining how the game works, you might want to touch briefly on the, like, rows, because the big guy takes up 2 rows, and who you can hit with your sword guy there changes a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to wait until we had a full party of 4, because I think it's easier to explain with our guys.
Okay.
As Tech points out, this big man takes up 2 spots, whereas individually our guys take up 1. If you look at skills, you can see, like, red dots that basically show what you can hit among enemies. And the sword guy can't hit Gunman, the Brigand Fusilier, because all his moves only hit the first 2 spaces, and he's covering that whole thing up. I'm going to try the Stunning Blow here. Maybe make him waste a turn if we get lucky. Nope.
Big guys tend to resist stunning blows.
Tend to.
He's got 50% stun resist. So.
Yeah, and we have a 100% chance. So it's basically a coin flip the way that mechanic works out. What's the likelihood of killing him off this? Not high enough that I want to mess around. Alright, 1 down.
You did it.
Corpses! This is the tooltip for corpses. When most monsters die, they leave corpses. Basically, the main point here is that there are some things you can do to prevent an enemy from leaving a corpse behind, but most of the time, if you kill an enemy, they leave a corpse, but that will leave the enemy formation intact. So if I had instead killed this front guy, the gun guy could still be at the back. And the importance of that is a lot of the characters with ranged weapons like guns have less effective moves if they're forced up to the front. So the corpse keeps them where they can do their gun business. Try to stun him again.
There you go.
You did it.
What does the little sign, is that just like they haven't taken their turn yet? Is that what that means? The little like,
pip?
dash?
To this, yeah.
Actions remaining.
Yep.
See, I can't roll over that on iPad, so I can't see that
there are some things that are easier if you can highlight them in the PC interface. This time I'm going to use Open Vein, because not only does it do damage, but it can inflict bleed on him and hopefully kill him quicker. Let's see what happens. There we go, we got bleed. So when he gets his turn this time, we will see how that works out, as previously described. So he's about to get his turn, takes bleed damage.
When you stun a character, they automatically get a buff that resists stun for the next attack, right?
They do! Plus 50% stun resist. It lasts through their next turn.
Another thing that I can't roll over and see on iPad. Or at least I haven't figured out how to see.
There's probably a way to do it, but I bet it's janky.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the iPad, like, see those rollover interfaces is click and hold. Kind of hard to click and hold on such a small...
The PS4 version is like, hold L2 and then scroll over to it. It's not great either. I'm going to take all these. Yeah, we completed the quest, but I'm going to continue adventuring for a second. So these here, the portrait and crest, they're a type of currency, but they're not just gold. The way Tech said, like, Onyx is basically just gold, these aren't. We'll use these to upgrade things later. For now, we beat those guys. Check out this bandit's trapped chest. Something doesn't quite look right with this one. We gotta know what's in the box. It was trapped!
It's trapped.
The trapped chest was trapped all along!
Oh no!
I actually really like that, because it's a subtle way for the game to be like, if you read this, you'll get a hint. It's one of the more obvious ones in the game. Yeah, I didn't notice it for like 5 playthroughs. And then, like, Cotillion and I were, like, testing something, like, trying to record this game one time, and he's like, I'm pretty sure it's always trapped. And then I, like, read the thing, and I'm like, huh. I think it's always trapped. Alright, so we finished the tutorial. Congrats to us.
Well,
get good,
game over. We beat the game. We're so good.
Hey, look. Our knight hates humans. He's like Bender. Let's go to the Hamlet. We made our way through the windy serpentine road.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet.
Is that the ancestor there?
They are yours now.
No, that's just the...
Yeah, I
That's
believe
just
that's
the
supposed to be the
caretaker.
caretaker. We will see many places, actually, which I only recently paid attention to. Get help where you may. I'm like, I don't need to look up stuff. I've played too many hours of this game.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses.
There's a lot of Wayne June at the start of the
All will
game.
find their way to us.
There is a lot.
There's like
yes.
a lot. Not explicitly trying to talk over him. We reached a committee decision we would not leave the subtitles on for this, even though I do that on my live stream. So if you really want to see what he's saying all the time, watch my live stream.
Yeah, there you go. They're just the subtitles are like kind of like prohibitively large in my opinion. They take up a lot of the screen.
And they stay on the screen for a long time because Wayne June... They stay until Wayne June stops talking and he takes a lot of dramatic pauses.
Yeah, he takes a lot of dramatic pauses. It's true.
This is true. Cannot deny this. So I just opened up the stagecoach. So the stagecoach is where, like, now that we've cleared out that road, other heroes can come to town and maybe help us out. Hey, look, 2 more idiots. I mean, heroes. Yeah, the game encourages us to upgrade the stagecoach, and I also would echo that. Upgrading the stagecoach early, I think, is very helpful. But even though we can technically do that right away, I think, personally, I prefer to wait until we can spend some resources on these buildings. We'll get to those later, because they're not real yet.
Yeah.
But since we basically just got here, and as you might be able to tell by looking around, everything is basically in shambles.
Oh, you know, I never noticed that when you upgrade it, it looks better and better.
Does it?
Yeah, look
never
at it now.
noticed that.
I think it's supposed to, but right now I think is a separate sprite for like anything that's not open yet looks like garbage. But like next week, some of these start opening, and I think they start to look normal.
Because I do know that they change when you have like a special event or whatever.
Yes, that definitely happens. I only recently saw in like YouTube comments on someone else's Darkest Dungeon content, there's a town event that's like basically like town party, and there's like a statue of the ancestor at the middle of town, and they cover it up with a sheet because everyone hates him because he ruined the town. There's a lot of subtle storytelling in this game. Alright, so as mentioned before, there's multiple ranks to our team. We can go ahead and have a full party of 4 people. It's the usual suspects. Yeah, we can't really do anything particularly interesting in town, and there's really only one place to go, unless you... I don't know, do you guys think we should go to the Darkest Dungeon right now? It's a level 6 quest, we have 2 level 1 guys and 2 level 0s. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we could win.
Yeah, we got that.
I'm pretty sure that's actually the way you speedrun this game. I won't bother going into that, but we could talk about it later if you want.
How the fuck do you win though? Like I get how you can.
It would
how you
require
can, like,
explaining multiple things, and even then, I have
Okay.
like a cursory understanding of it.
Like,
You're
I
not
get how
supposed
how
to
you
win
can-
the Darkest Dungeon, but there's a mechanical reason you want to send your first party into it.
Oh,
Interesting.
I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
it took me a really long time to actually understand that. But we have only one
I still don't
choice,
understand.
so we'll do a short apprentice mission. We'll get ourselves
do
a
it.
disease charm. Doesn't that sound nice?
Ooh.
Let's go do
Ooh,
it.
that
Do I
sounds so
want a
good.
disease charm? I don't think
I don't know if we do, but we're gonna get one.
Now in gold, later in blood.
You
See
pay
how
the
long
iron
it took him to
price.
say that?
It took him the right amount of time. Don't you criticize my Wayne June. So, provisions. Like I said before, there's stuff that you will find when adventuring in the dungeon that you might need a special item to interact with it. So here's where you buy those things. You'll also want some food so you don't starve to death, although you always have the option to starve if you would like.
It's true.
I'm going to bring 1 stack of food because I know that this dungeon is always pretty easy. I'll bring a full stack of torches just because I really don't like doing stuff in the dark.
The way
It's an
when
option,
I
and we
play,
can go into that later.
I spam torches constantly. My torches never get below 75.
Yeah, I use mine pretty
Shovel.
aggressively.
should take at least one shovel. This one has those pillars that you run into.
Yeah, I think you might need 2 sometimes if you get unlucky with the spawn here. I think if nah, it's the ruins. I think these are probably fine.
Yeah.
Your first expedition into the ruins of your ancestry. Be curious, be careful.
It's so interesting. The loading times on iPad are so much faster.
You've mentioned
There's
that.
like literally no wait. It's kind of crazy.
So here's our map. It's a little bigger than one hallway now.
Yeah.
Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Hey, look,
Suppose that
thing.
Depends on how you define one hallway.
I mean, this is definitely 2 hallways. But it's
I
functionally
can define
very
it as
similar.
one, and you can't argue with my opinion.
Yeah, I can. You don't know me that well, I guess. I haven't actually looked at what moves our new heroes have. I hope they're not terrible. Ben.
That seems good.
Ooh, this one has battlefield medicine. It's better than the test file we started the other day. Those are pretty good. None of these are particularly useful right now. Let me stun that corpse.
Got you.
I think I can smite him to death. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, you got some of those.
Oh, your
these-
favorite.
So these are citrines. This item is
Vasco
functionally
loves
worthless.
citrines.
It's basically the same as just wasting an inventory slot. I don't know why it's in the game.
They are Vasco's favorite item.
So unlock Strongbox. This one doesn't say it's trapped. Let's see if it is. Hey, look, I got a new shovel.
For a second, I thought you just got a shovel out of that. Nice.
I've seen weirder than that. I still can't believe that one time I got that Ancestor's pen by just beating a random dog in a hallway.
I don't even know what an Ancestor's pen is.
It's an extremely, powerful, rare item. Still getting used to PC controls. Make fun of me in the comments.
I believe you can also click the torch at the top to use it.
I think
Yes,
you
you
can,
can.
The torch.
Okay, I would like to use Plague Grenade. Oh, let's touch on this real
Yes,
quick.
please.
So, mostly, I think we've exclusively fought, 2 enemies at a time, even though, as Tech pointed out, one of them was a big guy who took up multiple spaces. Now we have 3 enemies, which means that we have to start considering, attack placement a little more. So, maybe not the best example of the Plague Doctor, but she doesn't really have things that affect the front people, so she can only target the back. That gives us options of, we could try to stun this character, or we could apply Blight. Blight is very much like Bleed, or similar to a poisoning effect in something like Pokemon or any number of other RPGs. But another thing I want to mention is that there's a particular reason that Cotillion wants me to kill this character first.
Yeah.
So far we've seen people with swords and guns and clubs and stuff. This lady, she's like a cultist acolyte. She can attack our stress. So we have 2 health bars in this game. As you can see, we have an HP score and a stress score. If you reach 100 stress, your character will undergo something called a resolve test. When this happens, they can either become virtuous and basically rally and become awesome and heroic and inspire your other heroes to be even more powerful, or they can become...
Never happens.
It happens pretty rarely. Or you can become afflicted, which means that you become a complete jerk and you just shout at your friends and literally stab them in the back and do crazy things, and it's really bad and you generally don't want it. It's much easier, generally speaking, to heal physical damage than it is stress damage. So it is often correct, not always, but often, perhaps even usually correct, to kill characters that you know to be able to deal stress early. This character deals stress. Let's poison her, slowly to death. I will also shoot at her with my pistol shot.
Just because of the nature of our friendship, whenever you say the word stress, I think of the boss from IT
Are you
Crowd saying,
stressed?
yeah, that exact thing every time.
Wow, look at that.
That's
check out the moves on
great.
my Vestal. Well, I guess Reynauld took 8 points of damage, so healed. Woof. We're gonna
Not great
need
for
that
the
to
back
change
row.
at some point. No, not really. Again, our Crusader Swordsman can't really target the 3rd position at all. So I'm going to try and take out... I think this is the one I'll be able to one-shot.
There you go. How did you determine that?
That was mostly from experience, but I can show you the next time there's like a relevant way to look at that. Her turn's basically going to be the same.
Yeah. Blight stacks, I guess?
Blight does stack, yeah.
Bleed,
Or it
bleed
can,
as well?
it doesn't
do
100%. Yeah,
Do
bleed
all
can as
things stack?
well. Stun doesn't stack.
Of course.
It's not. I don't know that anything else really works the same way.
Well, like buffs and debuffs, do those
Oh
stack?
yeah, those stack. There's like a limit to how much they can stack. Particularly, no, I think they're about the same. But yeah, there's like a bunch of resistances that every character has.
Got it.
But yeah, so let's take a look. Tech asked how I was able to determine what character I might be able to kill in one shot. When I highlight this character, if you look below, so here's our portrait of us, and then like below that is all these stats. Mm-hmm. So like when I have this particular attack selected and I like highlight a target, you can see that like the potential damage changes. So it reflects what I can potentially do to a specific target.
Like
So,
based on their protection and everything?
yeah, like
Well,
there's
look,
lots of different stats they can get.
If you look under the where it says HP 10 out of 10 on the right hand side, it gives you a breakdown of what
Highlight
your
it with
potential.
the mouse, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, yeah. So like this attack that he's about to use has the potential to do 4 to 8 damage to this skeleton with those hit and crit chances based off of, and that's all calculated based off of the skeleton's prot, dodge, and resistances.
Yeah.
Right.
And Cotillion is 100% correct about that. And the weird thing, the confusing thing, I don't know why it works this way, is that is exactly the same information that is provided in the area I pointed out earlier. It exists in both places, and the information is the same, but you can check either one.
I never noticed that it changed on the left.
It does, yeah.
Huh.
Also, skeletons have no blood, so they can't bleed.
Yes, that might sound
Says
stupid,
you.
but bleeding is a status effect, and skeletons are very resistant to it. They're in fact 180% resistant to it.
It said 200 before.
I think it varies by character. Different skeletons have different bleed resist, but
I don't think
bother
I've ever
trying,
made a
it will never
skeleton
work.
bleed.
I'm pretty sure that
You can't.
yeah, I think their resistance scales with your level such that you can't ever do that. Even though, like, it's not... Like, I think in order to be, like, functionally fully resistant to something, it has to be, like, 300% or something stupid like that. But, like, your natural bleed skills will never be high enough to, like, bleed a 180% resisting skeleton.
Scouting.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, scouting is fun. Sometimes you will, like... When you go into a new room, you will just, like, see what's in the hallways ahead. It can be very helpful if there's, say, traps. If you see that there's a trap ahead, you have a chance to disarm it. If you don't, you will step on it like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the treasure.
With treasure. I'm probably gonna double back. Oh my god, do we have
is
two
she
kleptomaniac
selfish?
characters? Oh no, she's just curious or something.
Yeah.
Manic for money, great. And lazy eye. Wow, this is a really bad starting Vestal. Don't hate the disease resist. Here's a fun thing. So, what we were just talking about, or referring to, I guess, is quirks. Even though, like, there's sort of a standard set of, like, resistances and base skills for every character class, there are also quirks which sort of make each character unique. Reynauld and Dismas, the two we got in the tutorial, have, I think they're just always 100% the same. Reynauld always has kleptomaniac, and is one of the most annoying quirks in the game, because what it says is, if there's, like, treasure ahead, he'll just open it up by himself and take it, and you'll never see it. It doesn't go into your inventory, you can't have it.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's one of the most annoying things. Boislevesk has Plutomania, which is fairly similar. She saw money and forced us to activate this loose backpack, but we still got the contents.
Money out of it?
I mean, I don't know if it, like, reduced the amount we would have gotten, but, like, we got the contents.
Well, I just mean,
I
like,
think
the money piles itself.
I think I have encountered very few kleptomaniacs.
I don't know that any particular quirk is, like, more or less common than others. But, like, not seeing kleptomaniac is good, because it's genuinely one of the most annoying ones to me.
It's, like, by far one of the most annoying, for sure.
God, what quirks do you have that you're already at, like, half stress? None, just unlucky. Cool.
I had that happen to me once. I got into a game with a dude who had no stress on him, and the first battle, he had like 75 stress.
Yeah, so, like, there's something I don't fully understand where if you take, like, lower-level characters into dungeons, I think they start with some amount of stress by default. You may notice that this Vestal's never been stress-attacked and has 20 stress. That's the result of that, but again, I don't fully know how that works. Here I'm going to use Grape Shot Blast, because I think if this hits the Acolyte, she'll be dead on her next turn anyway, and then I might as well get some extra damage on the others if it works.
There you go.
Yep.
The way I determined
Seems
that was,
good.
like, I checked her HP and checked how much damage she was taking from the poison that the Plague Doctor applied.
Right.
That blight does a pretty good amount of damage.
Yeah,
It
even
does.
at low level. All I can do is heal!
What a useless Vestal, holy shit. I mean, she's
are-
just in the wrong spot in the party, right?
No.
I mean, like,
She-
I could
Like,
move
if
her
you
to, like,
switched her
second
with-
position, but I think even in third, well, I should have Illumination in third position.
Yeah.
Her preferred position is first and second.
I mean, she has Mace
That's
Bash wants her to be
ins-
first and second, Hand of Light wants her to be first and second, Illumination is, like...
But Divine Grace wants
whenever
her to be
I-
second or third or
Yeah.
fourth.
Whenever I use Vestals, they are always in position 4. And I mean, you can change their movesets to be a little bit more conducive to that, but I really don't care. Like, I just want heals.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
fine in position 3. She's, like, almost exactly equal in position 3, no matter what. Just to point out, again, after doing that damage to this character, she'll be taking 4 damage per 2 rounds from this poison effect and has 4 health, so I don't need to worry about her anymore. I will instead focus my bonus against unholy damage against the skeleton. He did one.
Nice. So do you find you don't use the other move with Reynauld, the like hold up the scroll move, because it doesn't do a lot of damage even though it hits 2 people?
Depends. I used to like it a lot. I definitely like it less now.
Yeah.
Jeepers, just one of that's helpful. Heal yourself for a single point. Yeah, I mean, like, it's... I'm more likely to equip other moves over it these days.
Yeah.
But it definitely has its uses. Say, like, if he has about this much health and, like, there's another enemy here that I want to hit, like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of free damage on the second guy to do, like,
Right.
you know, area of effect
Yeah.
damage and kill the one guy.
Yeah, I pretty much stopped using Crusaders, so I don't know their moveset that well anymore.
Crusader's so good, though. Crusader's one of my favorite classes.
Well, you know, to each their own, right?
Yeah, but you're wrong is what I'm saying. So,
You used
it's
a
a
key.
locked chest, and I used a key on it, so I got some more treasure and food. So much food. I have, like...
So if you use a key, you 100% don't get trapped, right? But if you don't use a key, you have a chance of getting trapped.
For
or
this
getting
type
less
of chest, I don't think there's... Is there a trap on these? I think it actually varies
think
by
so.
dungeon type. The smaller
Yeah.
chests are way more likely to be trapped, and the key doesn't disarm that. The
Right.
main thing
Did
that the
it
key does for the
specifically
chest
say?
is that it provides more heirlooms, is my
Did
understanding.
it specifically say that chest was locked? Because I was under the impression that you could just open it, but if you
I
use
think
the
you
key,
can.
you get more.
Again, like, there's chests in different dungeons that work slightly differently, but I think Ruins chests you can just open. But you get more heirlooms if you use key. I think it even says... I think the message that comes up is something like, the key opened a secret compartment, and that implies, like, you just got extra stuff.
I like extra stuff.
I'm backtracking here. You can go back through a hallway you've already been through. There is a chance that new enemies or traps will have spawned there. But you should... I don't know if there's exceptions to this, but you should be able to see them if they spawn that way. I'm going to go back through this other curio room and see if there was something cool there. That way I only have to go through one trap. Well, I'm glad she's doing it and not Reynauld, who would steal my stuff.
Finding the stone is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Let's fight some people in a curio room battle. Hey,
Get
look,
'em.
this bone arbalest. Arbalist. What's it spelled like that? Shoot him!
Shoot him.
Can I get a portman tech on that?
A bone of burlesque. Arbalone. An arbalone. I like that better.
Nailed it. I mean, I guess I'll heal.
What a useless character.
Let me ask you something. I'm just intrigued by the way you phrased that before, Tech. Do you usually use your Vestal for attacking in most cases?
No.
Okay.
But, like, her stun ability is super powerful.
Her stun ability is very good.
Her, obviously her group heal is great.
Yeah.
I usually go in with...
Right now.
Right. I usually go in with her regular heal, her group heal, her stun ability, and one other...
She can't fucking do anything to a first position character. It's really annoying. Heal yourself for a point. Do it. I mean, stab him. It's not gonna bleed. Heal.
I'm trying to think of what the fourth move I usually have on her is.
She has one.
I mean, those are the three important ones, if you ask me.
She has one that gives light back to the torch too. Is that the stun?
The stun does that, but there's at least one other one.
She has one
does.
that reveals stealth guys, though, doesn't she? You have a lot of food.
She does, yeah. I'm just gonna eat a bunch of food. So, like I said before, the food wards off death. You don't want to starve. But you can also just use it at will, like if your guys are a little damaged, and maybe you've just, like, obtained a bunch of food in a dungeon like I have.
Holy water?
Yeah, I think holy water, like, boosts the effect of this. I think this is fine to touch without anything, but I think if I do holy water, like, it'll heal more stress or something?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Went from, like, kind of a problem to we're chill. Great. So let's move up to this empty room, and there's a trap along the way. Let's check out
Who's
how
your
that
best
works.
trap guy?
We'll find out. It's probably the highwayman.
Yeah.
Scouted traps will be visible on the ground as you approach them. Click a hero and then click the trap to disarm it. As text says, each character has a different rating. Vestal, 50% likelihood to disarm. Plague Doctor, 60%. Highwayman, 90%.
90? Holy
Crusader.
shit.
Yeah. Even at low levels, he's very good at it.
I've never seen 90 on trap. I've seen 80, but never 90.
I've seen like 120 before, but that was with weird trinkets.
Whoa.
There's one for the grave robber that like massively increases like trap disarm. There's also late game one.
I mean, I find that like anything over 60% is like almost 100%
Dang
chance
it!
to do it.
Watch this. He's about to steal whatever's in this bag. Oh, that was like the best bag so far too.
So much food.
So now like yeah, another like 10 food just like into the aether. He's gonna be like mashing it into his maw tonight and goes to bed.
into his like faceplate. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He never takes it off. So it's
Yeah.
just like rubbing it on his faceplate.
So here's a hunger check. This is when you need to have food. If you don't have food, as the starve button, which I always have available, says, you eat nothing, you take 20% damage, and stress damage. So I'm just gonna eat food and regain a small quantity of health.
Sometimes I'll trigger it and it'll do more than 4 food. Like it'll do 5.
There are some quirks and trinkets that can affect it.
Right.
Also, a disease called tapeworm can make one of your characters have to eat more food. Ooh, we got a scout. Might as well see if I want to go over there. It's a treasure room.
You got
this,
another,
what's
that?
you know what's good for tapeworms?
Is it leeches? Is the answer leeches? I got really excited. I don't know if anyone clipped it, but there was this moment on my stream where I was like, oh, I'm so upset about this tapeworm. Wait a minute, leeches! I have leeches! It's really stupid. This icon, well, we'll see what happens. We haven't seen this one on the map before. I keep forgetting if it's left or right click. But yeah, this is the obstacle. We saw one at the start of the dungeon, but I don't know why a icon of like a book surrounded by the color blue represents a pile of rubble, but it does.
Is it meant to be a door, maybe?
Maybe. I brought the right number of torches.
Spirits are lifted, and purpose made clear.
Oh no, it's the Bone Courtier.
So stress goblet guy.
Yeah, just like the cultist acolyte that we saw before, this character deals mostly in stress damage. They have a stupid attack called Tempting Goblet, and it does a bunch of stress damage, and it sounds stupid. I'm going to target them first. Bang.
Bang, bang. Aha, you missed.
Tempting
There it is.
Goblet. It's so stupid.
The stress is really just he spilled his wine
Yeah.
on your clothing.
Yeah.
I think they're worried about whether they'll get it out of their their nice dungeoneering outfit.
Oh no, my blouse!
Okay, so check
I
it
would
out.
stun them here if it were me.
Oh, I'm totally gonna play grenade them.
Do it.
Cause like that'll kill the bone. I want her dead.
Yeah, it's
I
fair.
think it's skeleton her. I don't know. But so far we've only fought teams of 3 or less characters. Now we have a team of 4. Check out Sweet Play Grenade. This like plus sign here, and also the like little dash connecting the 2 red dots here under Play Grenade. They indicate that it's an area of effect, and this will plague both of them. Idiots.
That crit for 1.
Yeah, that crit for 1 though. Highwayman is
If you
dodging
crit,
like
you
a
have a higher.
beast.
If you crit, you have a higher chance of doing the status effect, right?
I think you do. I haven't verified that, but it seems like if you crit, you will way more likely get a secondary effect, like bleed or something. Again, this guy can't reach further back than 2. I'll see if I can one-shot the Bone Soldier, but it's something like a coin flip. Ooh, low roll on damage there.
Yeah.
See, now that was just dead.
Good.
Oh, it's also worth
should be
noting that
good.
if you die from bleed or blight, you don't leave a corpse.
Correct.
Or crit.
That is one of the 3 ways. I believe there's only 3 to avoid an enemy leaving a corpse is having its lethal damage be dealt by blight, by bleed, or by critical hit.
Also, the really small dudes don't leave a corpse usually, like spiders and wolves.
That's just like enemy specific. Yeah. But like, as you notice, like that character just died, but since they died to blight damage, now there's just 3 people here, no corpses.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep fighting.
You know, the slow death is unforeseen and unforgiving.
Yeah. I would call this a death by inches.
Mm.
So let's see. I would want to deal 5 to one-shot them to blight. That would mean I would have to maximize damage on Grapeshot Blast. Are we feeling lucky, gentlemen?
Nope. Do it anyway.
Cotillion, what are your thoughts?
I was thinking that slowly, steadily, this is how you take a life.
I believe it's gently, this is how a life is taken. But that's only because I've played
Whatever.
more than you guys.
Yeah, I like Grape Shot. Sounds
Okay,
good.
you do like Grape Shot? I was just trying to ascertain if we should, like, do the smart thing and definitely try to kill the Arbalest, or do the fun thing and now the Arbalest is going to shoot us. They are missing, like,
I'm always inclined to use Grape Shot. I don't really know why.
It's another move
just-
I used to be a huge fan of that, like, I just don't use that much anymore.
Yeah, it's like underpowered, right? Like it seems cool at first because you're like, oh, I can hit multiple dudes.
It's, like, very
then-
good at what it does, but what it does isn't great.
Yeah, in late game, you're just like, all right, I just really need to kill the guy as opposed to just like ping away at like a couple dudes.
So this is exactly the type of situation we were talking about before. We got our
Yeah,
Crusader.
yeah.
He's got the smite with bonus damage against Unholy, so we can help try and wear down this big tall guy. We also got this dork with 1 hit point left over, and he's not like bleeding or blighted or anything. So if I use Zealous Accusation, again we got that plus sign, we'll hit both of them. Should kill this guy and then just deal some extra damage. This is well, we
Unless
missed.
you miss,
miss.
which it does have a low accuracy rate.
It has a
so-
relatively low, yeah, I think it's like 85%. I think it gets better when you upgrade it, and it stops
Yeah.
being as inconsistent. Just none of this matters, huh? Guess I'll stun this one. Woo!
You did it!
Yeah, look at me go.
Yeah, there's also a lot of moves, as you can see, that rearranges your enemies and your heroes as well, if that's helpful
True,
to you,
yeah.
which it can very well be.
You can like build your team around certain interactions of moving around and stuff.
Yeah,
there's a lot of options.
one of the combos I really enjoy playing with is having a jester and a highwayman on the same team, and just sort of have them flying around the whole turn order constantly.
Pop.
There you go, nice hit.
Destroy them.
Grape Shot Blast.
Why not?
Yeah, good job.
Take these. Take them.
Expedition at least promises success.
Key.
The only time I ever use the like poultice situation
Nice.
is when someone already has medical herbs. The only time I ever use that is when someone already has a debuff and I need to replace it with something.
I mean, it's better in like harder dungeons, not because like it's good against more difficult things, but because the harder dungeons for some reason are coded to make more use of the medicinal herbs. We'll touch on that later, probably. But for now, we finish this quest. Quest endo.
We did it! We
Look at
did
these
it!
Achievements.
Yay!
We got all these heirlooms, too.
Yeah!
No tomatoes.
Too legit to quit.
Slow reflexes. Great, another good one for Reynauld. Bloodthirsty, cool. Lost the Vesk. Likes it dark. It's the worst Vestal I've ever seen in my life.
Not great.
The tents are pitched, banners fly, and the corpse wagons
What?
stand
Enter
at
the-
the ready.
Yeah,
Ooh.
this is the thing.
Has come to
Oh,
town.
this is the Butcher Circus?
Yeah, so the Butcher Circus is DLC that dropped almost exactly a month ago or something at the time of this recording. It's like a PvP thing. I'm not particularly interested. I doubt that we're going to touch on that much, if at all. But because they are promoting it, because it's a new thing, they coded it into an early event in the game. So if we go and do that, we get extra stress relief. But I don't care. I also clicked through a tooltip that indicated someone... Oh, good. Awesome. So, sometimes negative quirks, if you hang around with a character for long enough, will lock in, which is exhibited by this angry red skull. It means it will be harder, basically just more expensive, to get rid of this negative quirk. You can treat negative quirks, and you can also lock in your positive ones so that they don't get replaced or removed if they're particularly
Doesn't it
useful.
also mean that it won't get replaced by one? Like if you...
Yeah, if we got
you can have a max of 4, right? And then they start replacing?
It's 5 total, and then, they start replacing. But, yeah, if we were to spontaneously get, 4 negative quirks right now, Kleptomaniac would not be replaced, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, that building isn't available to us yet. But, as you can see, the tavern's open,
yeah, it
and the
does
buildings
look
look a
better.
little different. Let's go to the stagecoach real quick. Ooh, really bounty hunter.
A mighty sword arm anchored by holy purpose. A zealous warrior.
Anything interesting over here?
Trinkets and charms
No.
gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
Oh, got
Got that disease charm.
that disease charm.
Oh, yeah.
That's about it.
That started with some trinkets.
Yeah, this is actually a thing I learned very recently. In the PS4 and PS Vita versions of Darkest Dungeon, there are 2 unique trinkets that you can't get anywhere else that you get by default in those games.
Oh, what are they?
One is called the Stone of Patience. It reduces stress to the equipped character by 10%. And also... it increases virtue chance? It's some really small bonus to something like that.
Alright, so it's mediocre.
The other one is worse. It's I think it's just plus 10 death blow resist, I think.
Okay.
But they're better than nothing, especially free reduced stress when you have no other trinkets. I'd kill for that right now. This is stupid. But yeah, oh look, the sun sort of came out from behind the hill with the portal to the nether realm on it. I think I'll probably leave it here and someone else can figure out what to do with these characters, and particularly Reynauld with his stupid locked-in kleptomania. He's so awful. He has locked-in kleptomania and slow reflexes, so base 0 speed after 2 weeks. Thanks,
Yeah, not great.
game.
Not great. Not great. Alright, well, join us next time, and someone else will have to deal with this craziness.
Assuming we get all of these moving parts to keep on moving.